roses were living the dream.
To you, my darling.
No, to you.
Until it all came crashing down.
He got fired.
Fired?
On August 29th, stop.
You stop!
And see The Roses. Rated R. In theaters everywhere, August 29th.
Getting ready to step into your career era? Set yourself apart with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Hone your skills with apps like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and more, powered with the latest in creative AI. Students save over 55% so you can build a portfolio you're proud of. Launch your future with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Visit adobe.com/students to learn more.
Welcome to the Tour Coach Podcast. I'm Tony Ruggiero here, as I always am, your host. And you're joining in on what we are now having as the Tour Coach Minis. And those are little 10-minute conversations with myself or Jackson Koert, who's going to be hosting some of this. Most of you are all familiar with Jackson, great young teacher, now at Atlantic Beach Country Club. And he spends a lot of time with us. And we've invited Jackson to be part of this. He does such a good job, spends so much time. But these will be 10-minute conversations and musings from around the world of golf, from around our travels, our friends, our players, other coaches, to give you more Tour Coach, more Dew Sweeper content during the week. So you now have got your main Tour Coach podcast coming on Mondays, followed by a mini on Wednesday and a mini on Friday. So you've got all the Dew Sweepers, all the Tour Coach you could ever want. And just like the Dew Sweepers radio show or the Tour Coach podcast, the Tour Coach minis are brought to you by our friends at Shrixon Golf, our friends at Bushnell, Buick, GMC, especially Mitch McConnell and McConnell Automotive. And you can't forget Vineyard Vines that keep us all looking good. So enjoy this episode of the Tour Coach Mini. And we're here with all the golf content you could ever want each and every week.
Sitting here at the Old Palm Golf Studio with Mark Hackett, Director of Instruction. Hack, thanks for sitting in.
Absolutely, Jax. I really appreciate it. Beautiful day. It's been pouring here all day, so
yeah, but we had another
most of it.
We had another good weekend.
Absolutely.
You know, I probably sound like a broken record a little bit because I talk on these a little bit now with Tony, and he's getting me more involved. But you know, one thing that's consistent across the board is I'm very thankful for all of the relationships that you're able to develop, you know, with these kids, other pros. But Hack, I really appreciate you. You know, you've taken me under your wing just as much as Tony has, and you know, I still have a lot to learn. And you have worked under some incredible names. And being able to be a little bit of a sponge and hear these tidbits that you give people from putting to chipping to full swing and even just playing is instrumental in my development. So thank you for that. But go into some of the people that you've trained under and how that's influenced your career. Yeah,
but I was fortunate. I learned from Davis Love and Scott Davenport and Lumpkin as a junior. And I was fortunate to spin into meeting Bob Toski with the Golf Digest schools, and it's like the information you get, but you know, you learn. They have a system, and they teach you cause and effect and make you accountable of learning how to teach the game and have confidence. You need to have confidence when you give the message. And sometimes you can sit back and, like, they don't give information, just spout it out. Sometimes you have to soak it in, just ask questions. You have to interview them, basically.
Yeah.
Find out their weakness, any limitations, if they have any surgeries. But you learn information on, get a program together, and you have to make them practice.
Yeah, and practice within that system.
Practicing within the system. And you see the grades really don't have, they're going to teach differently to everyone.
Sure.
They're going to find out, you know, a different pivot or setup, put a program together to have an understanding what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So after being hooked up with Toski and doing some of the Golf Digest schools, you were at North. Did you go from there to North River?
Yeah, I was at Sea Island and North River.
Sea Island originally.
And then North River, I would go over, do the VIP schools. With the VIP schools, it would have like Toski and Flick, Bob Rotella.
That's incredible. So how old were you? How old were you then?
At the time, I was like 20, 21.
Stop.
So it was a great environment. That's when I met Wayne Flint. Wayne Flint and I were part of we're range attendants, getting $50 a day, hustling to get tips. But we would tee up balls for all the lead instructors, and you had a chance to be a sponge, like you say.
Wow.
To learn cause and effect, learn how to put a program together, what they look for,
Yeah.
And and you have to give it with conviction when you give the information out.
Yeah. That's what I like about being around Tony, is being able to see his eye. Like, I've been around under him for 7 years now, and it's fun for me to be in a lesson with him like we've been the last couple days, and I see a swing, and I'm trying to almost see it through his lens and be able to apply it to that person, because it's great to understand maybe his framework, but then you get a different person in front of you and applying that to them, like you're saying. And so, so after North River, where'd you go on from there?
From there, I went with John Gehring up to Bloomfield, Michigan. So Bloomfield, Michigan, and John Gehring at the time was from Atlanta Country Club. He was at C. Ellen, and he was a top 100 teacher, old school, played at Wake Forest. And it was he had more of a system, more setup, a lot of side bend, working on trying to get the guys to hit draws.
Yeah.
Because most people tend to hit the slices they have under. That's when I really learned, you learn face control.
Okay.
On hitting different shots and really instilling short game, important of scoring.
Yeah.
Because most people, really don't really work on it. They're more concerned to get the tee shot and neglect their chipping and pitching and putting.
Yeah.
Which you can feed into the work on your short game.
Mm-hmm.
Short game feeds into your full swing for instant success.
Yeah. So then from Michigan, where'd you go?
Then I came to PGA National. That's when I started working for Mike Adams, Jim Suddy, and TJ Tomasi.
Wow.
So that's when we did laws. That's when I got introduced to body types. I mean, there's leverage, arc, and width. I mean, a width player has limitation of rotation, dropping the trail foot back and making adjustments.
Okay.
And you learn that everyone has, most people aren't going to go to the gym, so they have limitations. So you learn to tweak their setup to be able to have their best repeatable golf swing and motion, the face orientation, learning the pivot and turns.
Yeah.
That's when you learn that the whole body type is key of creating the matching, not the cookie cutter.
Yeah.
To find the proper setup.
Okay. And then did you stay in South Florida after that?
Yep. So then I went from PGA National, I ended up going to the Breakers working for Todd Anderson.
Wow.
So with TA was like, it was awesome in the sense because TA's stable was unbelievable with all the tour players, mini tour players. And you learn how incredible, taxing it is when you teach good players because they can do anything and everything. So they're working for a living in the sense on the golf course. So you have to give
your information has to be perfect,
spot on. And I learned a lot from his calmness and his, in the sense of helping people, talking people off the ledge when they're like not playing well, and understand how to correct their game and what certain things, like a couple bullet points of like working on setup and then like a trigger for the backswing.
Sure. Yeah. And then you were in the Hamptons as well?
Yes, I was up in Long Island. I was in the Long Island area. And then I was going back and forth, and Raymond Floyd opened up Old Palm, and I was fortunate to be here for 20 years now.
That's awesome. So, I mean, how many top 100 guys, Golf Digest top 50 guys have you worked under?
Under 30, probably 30.
That is incredible.
Yeah. So you learn a little
more
bit
than anybody on the list.
Yeah. So I was fortunate.
Heck, that's incredible.
Yeah, I was lucky, and the people I've met.
Well, but that speaks to your work ethic and your application to the knowledge, and you being a sponge throughout time like that. That's some long-term dedication.
Yeah, I was basically, into my career in the sense of, I was all about my career.
Yeah,
I put it first.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's why I didn't get married till I was 52.
Yeah.
But I'm blessed in the sense of the people I've met, and
places
and you learn that teaching in numbers is the key. In the sense of working in this such setting we have here at Old Palm now, with Tony Ruggiero and working with Kobe and the Jackson Corbin, and Mo.
Yeah.
It's because you see different things. I may be saying the same thing as you are, but you never know what clicks.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you had to boil down maybe the systems that you've been a part of, were there big differences amongst them?
Yeah, there was a lot of, with the There's basically Toski and Flick were more of a shift turn arm rotation.
Shift turn arm. Okay.
And then like you would deal with Jack Lumpkin and Chuck Cook with more body rotation.
Okay.
We tend to teach more here.
Okay.
And then with the Mike Adams, you learn different things. So putting people in different grouping, with the body types.
Yeah.
But it all works, but you learn that more information you have, or more you have in your toolbox, you can apply different. You can teach different things to different people.
Yeah, the more people you can help. Okay, so have you boiled maybe those 3 categories down into your own, or do you use? I guess that's my question. Have you boiled those 3 down in your own mind, or you just use that toolbox?
I use a toolbox, and I still feel like I don't know enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still trying to learn little bits and pieces every time. And the more, and that's how you're either green or growing or ripe or rotting.
Yeah.
So you have to keep on instilling, keep moving forward, learning, and I mean, for everyone. I mean, that's when I talked to Darren Clark, he was here for the Ernie Els event, and he's still learning. He's still taking tons of lessons. He's still trying to get better.
It's awesome.
At 53.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the key. That's what you have to be. You have to keep getting after it. You can't settle.
Yeah. So, parting shots as we wrap this up. If you had to give somebody advice that's going to take a lesson, what's their job?
Their job is to take notes. Their job is to really understand what they're trying to work on, in the sense of like when I'm giving a lesson, to understand that you have to keep it clear. You got to keep it all black and white. So when they leave here, they know you put a program together where they can work on different drills, certain drills, and tying in full swing and short game all in the same instance.
Mm-hmm. And then if you're one of the coaches giving the lesson, that's quite possibly listening to this as well, what's your advice to them giving that lesson? Just the same on the flip side, right?
Yeah,
Making sure that picture's clear.
Observe. You have to, as an instructor, you should get lessons from people. You need to observe other people under different styles. I mean, we're all not perfect, but there's different styles of learning, different styles of teaching.
Yeah.
And communicating.
Communicating
is the key.
Correct. Especially because now, like, if you have a couple different systems, those communication skills is what you link that person to those systems that you've learned.
And I think the big thing now with YouTube, like, you need to instill, because there's so much information out there.
Yeah.
You need to tell them what they need to look at, which applies to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes they're trying to change something which they don't need to really work on.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest disconnect we have with golf, having all this information on your phone or laptop or iPad.
Yeah.
I mean, it can really make them go sideways in the sense of not really improving.
Yeah. That's awesome. Hack, thank you for your time. Also, thank you for mentoring me and taking care of me.
You're talented.
I don't know about that. I've had some good training. So I appreciate your time. Thanks for sitting in, Hack.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone play well. See you in the fairway.
Hi, this is Tony Ruggiero. And look, recently, several teachers I know and several players have had some scares with skin cancer. In fact, I recently went and saw a dermatologist here in town, and I had a couple things frozen off, eyelid, my face, my earlobe, and not getting any younger. And I know it's getting to that time of the season where it's cooler, but look, being in the sun is a real deal, and I've not been very good, to be totally honest, my whole career at using it at all, because I didn't like how greasy it was, how hard it was to get off your hands, how it clogged up my pores. And then I found this sunscreen, Visor Skincare. It's clear, it goes on, it doesn't dry you out, it isn't greasy, it's like you didn't put anything on it. By far, it's the best sunscreen I've ever used. Without a doubt, is the easiest to use. And we've got a discount code for all of you. All you have to do is go to visorskincare.com, is use our code word DewSweeper. visorskincare.com, code word DewSweeper. I just want to remind everybody something that I forgot. Recently, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I went out. We went to a wedding, and afterwards with some friends, we were like, hey, where's a great place to go? I'll be honest, like, in my travels and day-to-day, sometimes I get caught up and I forget some of the great places right around the corner. But I got to remind you about the Ice Box Bar on 755 Monroe Street. I was blown away by just the whole vibe, the atmosphere, and with the Velvet Pig, the food in the back room and the big screen TVs up front. We sat there and watched some playoff games. I was blown away by the atmosphere, the vibe, and just how cool it was to have the Icebox Bar right here near the Dew Sweepers downtown, near where I live. You're looking for a great place to go sit, watch some games, hang out, play some pool, you got to go to the Icebox Bar right there on Monroe Street. There's a good chance you'll see all of us hanging out. But do yourself a favor, go visit the Icebox. It's one of the best places out there.